Week number 2 in the ASRC, and that means it's highlights from the ASRC Pole Shootout and Pole Shootout Open. First, we'll start with the Open. 30 laps, no cautions. Everyone has to make green flag pit stops. Edward Millard got the pole position, so he was guaranteed automatic entry into the shootout main event, but he decided to race anyway. David Topa in the outside pole, he didn't have much of a car. Jordan Erickson back there, the second car on the outside line, he was able to make it into the main event. J.D. Laird as well. So Millard had a great car all weekend long, and he said that he would be the guy to beat come time for the main event. And 33 cars raced in this event. Only guys to not qualify were Michael Dolney and Will Wolf. Lap number 10, first incident of the day here. This is after a server warp, the number 25 of Peter Engelmans. Hope I'm getting his name right. He goes over, flipping twice on the front straightaway. Blake Taylor also involved. His luck at super speedways has been horrible. Here we go, starting pit stops. Matt Rigotti gets into Hobie Grooms and spins out coming down the pit road. Rigotti was able to recover and finish in the top 10. Lap 23, controversial moment in the race right here. Watch the 27 of Joseph Dogg go beneath the yellow line to pass David Dambois. Officials ruled that he was trying to avoid Dambois' car, which was moving down the racetrack, so no penalty. Final lap now as the white flag came out. William Boutin out in front, trying to win his second straight race in the ASRC, as well as the second straight Pole Shootout Open event win. Edward Millard, he could not get help from J.D. Laird on that outside. Millard had a great car, but needed a lot of help to pass. That was one of the major themes of both of these races, that it was very difficult to pass on the outside without at least 3 cars helping. Down the back straightaway, Millard had help from J.D. Laird, but couldn't quite get to the rear bumper of the 29 of William Boutin. Daw would finish in the second position, but Millard had a great challenge up here on the final lap. Watch Boutin as he's down low, blocking Joseph Daw. Then he realizes Millard might have a run up top, so he goes up to the top side, but that makes it 3 wide at the line, and it wouldn't matter. William Boutin gets his second straight win in the Pole Shootout Open. Here's the margin of victory, very close at the line, but Boutin was able to hold on for the win. Time for the main event, the 2007 ASRC Pole Shootout. And William Boutin, random qualifying order, he was able to stay on the pole and start off from the first position, though it wouldn't really matter. He'd get shuffled back a little bit early on in this race. 16 cars made the main event this year. 14 was the field size last year. Defending champion Aaron Shankerman was unable to race, so in the 28 was Landon Harrison, also eligible for the event. J.D. Laird, who had pushed Shankerman to victory last year, was unable to really help out his teammate. They were separated for a good bit of the race right here, but you see Edward Millard, fellow Ascors driver with J.D. Laird up there. He would be working with Laird for a lot of the race as well, and you'll see that when pit stops come up in a little while here. Number 91 of Brent Sweet showing up as an STP car. Unfortunately, his car file wouldn't work for us on our system, so his Valvoline number 91 Chevrolet paint scheme won't be showing up. Boutin led the first few laps right here, and it wasn't until pit stops under the caution, which you'll see in a moment, that he would relinquish the lead to Edward Millard, who had a brilliant pit strategy maneuver later in the race. Now watch the top side. Boutin's going to go up to the top side here on the back straightaway, leaving the door open for Millard in the 31, and this is where he gets shuffled out of line right here, as he's sort of holding up that top line. Nothing that Mike Husby or Alex Faust or Brent Sweet could do back there, and they check up a little bit. Sweet gets into Faust, none of his doing, but Faust goes up into the outside wall. Sweet also brushing the wall. J.D. Laird had a little bit of damage. Here's the wreck on lap number 7. Matt Chaffee gets turned in the tri-oval, and that sparks a 7-car incident. Parker Hammonds, Mike Husby, Hobie Grooms, among others involved. And that was the first and only caution of the race. Here we go, lap 15. This is where the first serious charge came for Millard, but he had just such a great car that he was able to hold it off. Johnny Williams and William Boutin there side by side, and this was a problem that the cars could get close to Millard and get close to the leader in any of the events that we've had so far this year. They just couldn't quite pass, and that was a problem that was seen throughout the rest of the race. They could get a run, but couldn't quite get beside enough to make the pass. So Millard is able to hold off this challenge right here, as Husby and number 28 of Landon Harrison couldn't quite push the cars in front of them by Millard. Lap 25 now. Green flag pit stop starting. Edward Millard in the 31 leads the 38 of Matt Chaffee, or rather the 83 of Matt Chaffee, 38 J.D. Laird, 01 Brian Schoenberg down pit road, along with the 19 of Jordan Erickson. Next lap, some other cars coming down. Faust, Rigotti, number 59 of Husby, number 99 Gerlach. Lap 37 now, as green flag pit stops have already cycled through. Serious challenge once again to Millard. Jordan Erickson in the 19 getting pushed by J.D. Laird. Had an opportunity to go down to the inside line, but didn't quite take it and wasn't able to mount a charge on Millard for the lead. Final lap now. Erickson trying once again. He's trying to get up to that outside, but couldn't quite get the help he needed. He got a little bit of a push right there from Brian Schoenberg, but had to duck back down into line as J.D. Laird was giving him a little bit of a window down there. Down to the checkered flag, Edward Millard will take it, and he takes the ASRC Pole Shootout for 2007. And for the second time in this event, a driver advances through the Open to win the event. So Millard wins the race. Next up, it's the Daytona 200 with the Touring Series 150. And you'll see highlights next week right here on YouTube.